Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is the fourth part of the chapter Microorganisms, a Friend and Foe. If you have not come up with the 3 parts of this chapter, then it is already uploaded on my channel. Link will be provided in the description box as well. So today we are going to learn what is food preservation. Okay, so you all know that if we keep our food open, it will get spoiled, as the microorganisms sit on that food and make it spoil. So there should be some methods to preserve our food. So let's learn the methods to preserve our food. So the first method is chemical method. So we all know that the food which we bring from the market are full of preservatives, isn't it? So use of preservatives like salt and edible oil, etc. is done that. Along with that, there are 2 chemicals named as sodium benzoate and sodium metabisulfate. These are the 2 common preservatives which are always used in making food items and to keep that food items preserved. Okay, coming to the second point, preservation by common salt. So you may have seen in the some places that fishes or meat, what they are doing, common salt is being used to preserve some meat and fish for many ages. Okay, as soon as we apply the common salt for fish and meat, it will be living for it can be left for many years. So this is another method, that is preservation by common salt. Next comes the preservation by sugar. So here comes the packet food, that is nothing but jams, jellies, and you also have seen some squashes of different fruits. Okay, so these are nothing but preserved by the use of sugar. Similarly, preservation by oils and vinegar. Even here some of the vegetables, fruits, meat and fishes are preserved by this method, that is by oil and vinegar. Next comes heat and cold treatment. Okay, so heat and cold treatment. Can this heat and cold treatment can help in preserving our food? Yes. So you all have noticed when we get milk items, or so you all have noticed when we bring milk from market, what do? The first thing before drinking it, we boil it, isn't it? We boil it, then we used to drink. It means what? The heat, we provide a heat treatment to our milk, which in turn will kill the microorganisms present in that milk. So you also have seen the Tetra packets milk, which is already available in the market. So even those Tetra packet milks are being heat treated, okay, for just 15 to 30 seconds, and then it is added into that packet, so that the microorganisms which is already present in the milk is vanished, and later on the packet is sealed so that the microorganisms shouldn't enter into that packet. And Louis Pasteur, so this is the person, Louis Pasteur. He has discovered this process. That process is nothing but called as pasteurization, that is heating the thing for certain minutes, or we can say for few seconds. That process is nothing but called as pasteurization. Even you have seen that when the leftover food is remaining, what we do? We keep it in the refrigerator. Why do we keep it in a refrigerator? Because to prevent it from the microorganisms. So in the heat as well as in the cold places, the effect of microorganisms is reduced to some extent. So we are keeping those things in the refrigerator. Okay. Next, the last one is storage and packaging. So you may have seen many dry fruits as well as vegetables, fruits, sometimes fruits, everything pickles, you may have seen pickles, everything is stored and packed in airtight containers, isn't it? Either it is airtight container or whatever the plastic they are using, everything is packed. Why it is packed? Just because to prevent it from the microorganism. As soon as it is refrigerated or as soon as it is heated, it is completely packed and sealed so that the microorganism shouldn't act into that airtight containers. Okay, this is all about the food preservation and the methods of food preservation. Now, okay, the next thing what we have to study here is about the nitrogen fixation. Okay, so this is the process in which the bacterium called rhizobium helps. Okay, so this bacteria rhizobium helps in the process of nitrogen fixation. So this rhizobium bacteria will be present in the root nodules of the leguminous plant. So leguminous plant means here the plant of the kind pulses plant. Okay, so like beans and peas, etc. So these rhizobium bacteria will be present in the root nodules of this plant, and what it does, it fix the nitrogen which is not present in the soil. Okay, it balances the nitrogen from atmosphere into the soil. So this process is known as nitrogen fixation. Sometimes nitrogen fixation in the soil is just because of the action of lightning also. Okay, so the next part what we are going to study is about the nitrogen cycle. So what is nitrogen cycle? So you can see here they have given a cycle which shows nitrogen cycle. So let us see what is nitrogen cycle. First we know that there is 78% of nitrogen present in the whole atmosphere. Okay, so that as the lightning is coming or as it is taken up by the nitrogen fixing bacteria, that is rhizobium, it fixes the atmospheric nitrogen. Okay, it is the atmospheric nitrogen is either taken by the rhizobium bacteria, or we can also say that it is just because of lightning also it comes into the soil. Next step, as soon as the rhizobium bacteria takes this nitrogen, what it does? Bacteria in turn fix the nitrogen into the nitrogenous compound. What does it do? That bacteria, it takes the nitrogen from the atmosphere and it fixes this nitrogen into nitrogenous compound. It will mix up with all the hydrogen, oxygen present inside the soil, and it will convert this nitrogen into nitrogenous compound. Okay, so this nitrogenous compound, after it is converted into nitrogenous compound, this compound of nitrogen is present in the soil now. So as this is present in the soil, as we put a seed or as we plant a tree into this soil, what happens? The plant will absorb all the nutrients from this soil. So the nitrogenous compound which is present here will be absorbed, will be uptaken by the plant. So as soon as that plant is eaten by the animals, we all know that the cow, goat, all type of animals will eat this plant. So as soon as this, whatever the nitrogenous compounds were taken up by the plants, it will go to the animals. Okay, so then as these animals, nitrogenous waste from excretion and death, as soon as the animal excrete its waste product out of its body, or when the death of this animal occurs, what happen? Whatever the nitrogen products was taken up by the plants and eaten up by the animals will again come back to the soil. So after, as it is coming back to the soil, what happens? Here it was converted into some another waste, nitrogenous waste product. Okay, so here it was nitrogenous compound, it was taken up by the plants and later on it was taken up by the animals and it came back to the earth. What was that? What came back to the earth? That is nitrogenous waste. Okay, as it came back to the earth, it came back into the soil. What happens? This nitrogenous waste product, again it is taken up by the bacteria, turns Okay, bacteria turns the compound of nitrogen into the nitrogenous gas. Later on, whatever the nitrogenous waste was came back to the soil, it is again taken up by the bacteria and it is converted into gaseous nitrogen. As soon as it is converted into gaseous nitrogen, it will again move to the atmosphere. Okay, so this process is nothing but called as nitrogen cycle. So this is nothing but called as nitrogen cycle. Okay, I hope you are clear with the video. If you have any doubt regarding this, please comment me down below and please like, share and subscribe my channel. Thank you.